Hey guys, it's Brendan Manor with Whitetail Partners. I'm a professional habitat consultant based out of the Northeast. And today I want to talk about why you're not killing your target animals, why you're not killing big bucks on your property. Now there's several different factors that go into why you might not be successful on your property year in and year out. But today I want to talk about the main reason. The main reason that you are not successful to kill your target animal year in and year out is because of your lack of preparation. Preparation is the key to success. And what I mean by this is you need to be thinking right now, if you are not reaching your goals and you've been consistently disappointed with what you're seeing on your property, you need to come up with a game plan for next year. You cannot go into the following year without changing anything and expect different results. That's the biggest key. We need to start preparing for next season, and that starts right now. If you own your own property and you've tried several different things, you've tried to improve it, you've tried to plant food plots, you've done TSI, you've come up with game plans, mock scrapes, tree stand location setups, altering the way you hunt the property, and you're still not successful. It's time to consider bringing out a professional on your property, getting a second opinion, and getting a game plan in place. When you hire Whitetail Partners, what you're doing is you're having a professional come out to your property that is local in your region. That's what makes us different compared to other consultants. We have regional experts, people that actually hunt and work in that area. And that is why I am dedicated to helping people, is because I'm actually confident that the information that I'm relaying to them is quality information that's actually going to lead them to good results. That is because I hunt in the same region. That's because I manage my own family farm in the same region. I've helped out several clients in the area. I've walked hundreds of properties, and I know what I'm looking for. I know the techniques and the strategies that have found success for myself and for several clients. And I don't want you to take my word for it. Reach out to me, ask for referrals that I can send you, call those people up and learn about their experience, their honest opinion about what it was like working with me or working with another Whitetail Partners regional professional in your area. We have people scattered throughout the entire eastern half of the United States. We're actually extending over into the central or western part of the United States. We have a regional expert that can help you. And right now is the time to make that decision, have somebody out and come up with a game plan. When you receive this plan, what it's going to be is a design of your property that's going to work for you. It's not a plan that you're not going to be able to achieve. I want to take every single factor into account. What are your resources as far as equipment? What's your financial resources as far as what you're willing to invest in the property? And how can we mold a plan that's going to help you have success in your area? No matter what your circumstances are, there is something that we can do to come up with a game plan to help you out. The biggest issue that I see on most properties, number one, is hunting strategy. That's a big part of the plan. We need to figure out how we can hunt the property without the deer feeling like they're being hunted. Hunting pressure is a huge factor on daylight movement, especially of mature bucks. If you are pressuring your property, you're not accessing your tree stand locations, you're not worrying about wind, you will struggle to have consistent success. Every single person out there, especially during the rut phase of the hunting season, can get lucky. You can harvest a mature animal on your property. There's no doubt in my mind. But do you want that consistently? Do you want that every year, every other year? Do you want to be seeing more daylight activity from those target animals? If you do, it's time to come up with a game plan. If you're hunting public land, if you're hunting permission pieces, we help out those people as well, coming up with hunting strategies on areas that you can't manipulate the habitat. There's always a way that you can make your hunting experience better, and it starts by reaching out. That's the biggest key. It's time to make the decision. Stop going into every season hoping that you're going to have success, and start going into every season knowing that you're going to have success. And again, don't take my word for it. Go look at our reviews, go talk to our previous clients, learn about the experience, learn why I'm so confident that I can help you on your property. This is not a bunch of gimmicks. It's not just me walking the property and spitting out an image, spitting out a design and giving it to you and it's all over. It's more of a conversation. It's more of a relationship over the next several years on how I can help you. I want you to reach out to me with follow-up questions after that initial consultation. I want to know what your issues are, what you're seeing, how the plan is working, and that plan, that document that I give you, the design, is a living document. We can always go back in there and manipulate it and tweak it to according to what you're seeing, the effects of what we've done, what we've implemented, and how can we make it better. Every single year when I'm sitting in the tree stand myself, and I encourage you to do as well, I'm always thinking about the future. That's the difference between those that kill mature animals every single year and those that don't. They're always banking on the following year. How can I stack my odds in my favor for the next season? And that's not me giving up on this season. That's just saying, okay, this year, this is what's taking place. This is why I was successful, or this is why I wasn't successful. And how can we tweak our plan for the following year? Right now, if you're hunting, again, permission pieces, public land, and you don't want to hire somebody to come look at it, that's completely fine. But get out there and scout it. Look for that previous sign of the previous deer season. Learn where the deer were, where's the most activity taking place, where are they feeding, where are they scraping, and possibly where are they bedding. That's the hardest thing to pinpoint, is bedding areas, because deer bed in a lot of weird places. I've seen them bed out in the middle of a field. I've seen them bed in a thicket. I've seen them bed on a ridge top. Locating bedding areas, it can be the most difficult part, but it doesn't have to be. Go out there, learn the landscape, learn how they're utilizing it, and come up with that game plan for the following season. It all comes down to options. How many options are you going into next season with? How many different stand locations? How many different scrape areas, feeding areas do you have pinpointed that you can go in and scout, hunt, and see what's taking place? You need to have several options if you want to be successful. And the people that are successful every single year are starting their preparation for next season right now. I just want to reiterate, this is not a one and done deal. I want to speak with you after the consultation. I want a relationship after that to make sure that you are actually having results. Your success is literally my success. If I'm not helping people, if I'm not producing the results that are needed or that are expected, then obviously I'm not in business. So your success is my success, and that's why it's so important to me, and that's why I'm so enthusiastic about this, is because I know that I can help you. If you have bucks on your property, they're utilizing it all summer, early season, and then they vanish, that's an issue. That's an issue that can easily be fixed, and we can do that with a game plan, with a habitat management plan, and with a hunting strategy. There can be great results on every single property across this country. I truly do believe that each property has a different set of potential, or a different potential that they are capable of reaching. It's about wrapping our mindset around that potential, coming up with realistic expectations, and then managing the property, managing the hunting pressure, and that is how you're going to receive great results. If you're going to walk your property after the season and you want to do it by yourself, what I'm looking for when I go onto a property, number one, I'm looking at access. Where can we enter this property? Number two, I'm scouting it for current deer sign. How are they utilizing the landscape right now? Where are their feeding areas? Do you have a food plot? Is that food plot, can you access around that food plot without spooking deer off of it? Where are the natural food sources? Where are the scrape areas? Each part of the season has a different hunting strategy that goes into it. Early season, I'm going to be focusing on those primary food sources, whether that's natural or a supplemental food plot. I focus on the smaller ones, the ones that are hidden, has plenty of security cover adjacent to it. That's where you're most likely going to see that mature buck daylighting in those early season days. Once we transition into the lull, I'm still hunting some of those food sources because I've set up my property in a way that deer still feel comfortable. They don't feel like they're being hunted. And that's how you make the October lull vanish. On our property specifically this year, we had over 30 sets between 5 hunters from October 1st to October 20th. Over 30 sets on only 220 acres. That's a tremendous amount of hunting pressure. But we did it the right way to where we actually saw an increase in movement. We saw daylighting bucks, 2.5, 3.5, our target animals, 4.5-year-olds, daylighting on our property consistently because we were not impeding on their movement. I separate our movement from their movement, and all I want is a sneak peek at it. I want to direct them in front of my stand locations. I do not want to get aggressive, especially early season. So we ended up harvesting one of our mature animals, one of our target bucks, on October 20th, and the movement was tremendous. I ended up harvesting our second target buck on December 2nd, and the reason I point this out is because We are in a region here in central New York where we have over 30 hunters in our square mile that encompasses our property. That includes our 5 guys that hunt the 220 acres, or 6 guys, excuse me, during rifle season. There's 6 guys that hunt 220 acres, but we're dealing with about 30 hunters in our 640 acres that encompasses our 220. That is a tremendous amount of hunting pressure. And the reason I point this out is because there are several consultants, whatever, out there, and I don't want to bash anybody because each person's criteria and their region is completely different. But what I want to point out is there are several people out there, and you might be in the circumstance right here, and I envy you. That is an amazing thing if you are in a great region. But if you only have 2 target animals on camera that are 4.5 years old and older, that's the only pictures that you have that are actually mature animals that you are targeting, your chances of success diminish tremendously compared to those that have an island property where they hold the majority of the cover in an ag region. It's extremely easy setup. You will have success. I can guarantee that year in and year out if you set your property up correctly. You can look up our property. There's nothing special about it. It's in a largely wooded area, no ag around, and there's heavy hunting pressure in the area. And we only have 2 bucks. We don't have 10 or 15 target animals that we're taking into each season to where our success rates go up tremendously. We have 2, and we were able to target both of them, and we have consistent success because of the way that we set up our property, because of the way we hunt our property. That is why I'm so confident that I can help you out, because if we can do it in a highly pressured area and we can have a 100% success rate, I know that I can help you out too. Now, when you go into the pre-rut and the rut stages, I'm going to be focusing more on those bedding areas, primary scrape areas adjacent to those bedding areas. How can we sneak in those locations and catch those bucks looking for doe? You need to think about what's going through a buck's mind, especially a mature buck's mind. During that time, they get to breed 1 time out of the year. That's it. 1 time, a 1.5-week time frame, 2-week time frame is the primary breeding time. I know that it is a bell curve. Some will take place before that, some will take place after that, but that 2-week time frame is when they are looking for does. Where do does spend most of their time? They spend it in bedding areas. So how can we hunt the outskirts of those bedding areas, pinch points that lead into those bedding areas where bucks are going to be traveling looking for those doe? That goes all the way up to about the middle of November, towards the end of November. Once that peak rut starts to settle down, those bucks are tired, they're going to transition back towards food, and that's when I'm hunting my primary food sources. For us, that falls in the firearm season, so I'm setting far off the line of movement because I have a firearm in my hand. I can make a long shot, so I'm setting off of those food sources quite a ways, overlooking them, and they're going to be hammering those if you have those supplemental food sources. If you do not, you need to locate those natural browse areas, those natural mass-producing trees that are still producing during that time of year, because they are trying to replenish all that weight, all that energy that they used up during the primary rut. That is their focus during that time of year. Late season is no different. Into December, muzzleloader season here in New York, I'm still hunting those primary food sources. Those scrape areas are going to open back up, so we could target those. But during this entire transition, I'm still utilizing trail cameras, learning about where the deer are moving consistently, and staying patient. That is the key if you want to have consistent deer movement on your property. You need to stay patient. You need to not impede on their movement. Don't spook deer. I don't care if it's a fawn. I don't care if it's a 1.5-year doe. I don't care if it's a spike horn. You cannot spook deer. The more you spook them, the more you educate them, and the quicker they're going to start utilizing your property during the nighttime hours. That is huge. That is a huge factor that a lot of people get wrong. They think in their head, well, you know, that's just a doe. She'll be back out tomorrow. I'm just going to climb down out of the stand. It's fine if she runs away. That is absolutely not fine. You need to make sure that you're not spooking deer. Act like an actual predator. Too many people, too many hunters are lackadaisical, especially when it comes to immature deer or doe. I don't care if they're going to pop out the following evening. The last thing I'm going to do is educate them and allow them to know where my stand locations are. The first several times you're spooked or you get caught in a stand location, especially by a matriarch doe, a mature doe, that area is compromised. She will absolutely, every single time she hops out into that food location or wherever that stand location is, she's going to look at that tree and study it. And that's the last thing that we want. So hunting pressure is key. How can we manipulate the deer movement to where we can separate our movement from their movement, sneak into an area where we're just getting a quick sneak peek of their daytime movement and hunt that in the least invasive way possible. Each property can be manipulated, deer movement can be manipulated, tree stand locations can be altered, and we can ultimately have predictable movement on your property, know what time of year it is, how that's going to affect where we're hunting, morning time, evening time, all day sets. Learn about how deer utilize the landscape. That is how you're going to have consistent success. This all goes into the on-site consultation, the habitat management plan, and the hunting strategy. It's all part of that report that's given to you, and the follow-up questions are key. I have several conversations with clients throughout the season on where to hunt, how the deer movement is taking place on their property, and possibly how we can fix it for the following year. Follow-up visits are definitely encouraged to see if you're implementing the work yourself. I want to see what's taking place. Did you actually implement it the way that I would have? I have noticed over the past several years of doing this that the clients that actually have me do the implementation work tend to be more successful, whether that's just because now they're actually hiring somebody and the work is actually getting done because everybody has a life. At the end of the day, this is a hobby. So the time that they have to spend to actually manipulate and transform the landscape is limited. That could be a huge factor why they're more successful, or it's just the fact that I am doing it in a way that I have a picture in my head, and I do my best during that consultation to portray that picture, give all the information possible, give images that'll help you see how I would go about doing a certain thing. But at the end of the day, the clients that actually have us out to do the work tend to be a lot more successful. So this is a lot of information that I'm giving you. There's a ton of information in that on-site consultation. If you want to have us out, don't be afraid to reach out. All you have to do is make a phone call, text message, email, learn about the process, whether you have us out this year or maybe you're planning in future years. A phone call never hurts, and you need to come up with a plan. If you don't change what you're doing, you cannot expect different results. That is the most honest thing that I can give you. If you do the same thing, you will have the same results. There's no doubt about it. Maybe you're going to get lucky here in future years and harvest your target animals, but if you want consistent success, it's time to make a change.